What's up? Welcome back to Bachelor Tea Party. I'm Zuri Hall, and today we're joined by Ashley, Jared, and Lauren. Let's just go ahead and dive right in because, quite frankly, there's a lot. First of all, before we get into the recap, of course, we have to discuss the controversy currently swirling around the show. Chris Harrison temporarily stepping down after his controversial interview with Rachel Lindsay, where he defended Rachel Kirkconnell. Chris and Rachel both went on to issue apologies, but I'm curious to know, what do you all think so far? Do you feel that it's enough?
Well, I feel like when it comes to the apologies, it's not ours to accept.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, even Rachel put that in her caption. If you read the apology, she says, "Please, like, if you're not a part of the BIPOC and you haven't been offended by my previous actions, this apology is not intended to you." So I don't think it's really up to us whether what Chris said is enough, what Rachel said is enough. I mean, personally, I don't think it is, but again, it's not up to us.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I will say, obviously, as a Black woman who watches this show and has been following this, that an apology is not enough. Apologies very often are lip service and time after time have proven to be performative. I'm not saying that these apologies are or are not that, but it is very much about doing the work that comes after the apology. We saw a lot of this last year, particularly with Black Lives Matter and the social justice, or the demand for change in the area of social justice that came, where a lot of people posted the little black boxes, but then it was crickets after that. So what I do hope, depending on how the franchise decides to handle this, is that if Chris does return, that there is a serious display of change, of education, and I would expect that they know that and will do that also. But I will second anyone who is saying currently that an apology isn't enough. But I do hope that he will be doing the work behind the scenes so that when/if he comes back, we can actually accept that apology in a way that feels meaningful. So that's my 2 cents on that. Now, let's go ahead and dive into what the optics might look like in this aftermath. What are the possible outcomes if The Bachelor decides to move on with a new host? What do you think that might look like? Some people thought maybe Rachel Lindsay. She said that she's done with the show, that she wants to move on after her contract's up. Who do you think would be a good fit?
We have not thought about that. I mean, we are thinking about the upcoming after the final rose.
I mean, like a new host of the show. I haven't even thought about that. I mean, Rachel's obviously someone that I hope doesn't leave the franchise. I think Ashley and I both hope that.
I do think that they would probably ask her for after the final rose. It just seems to make sense. Excuse Lois's yawns.
Yeah, maybe she should go down. I feel like she's yawning constantly. Are we boring you?
No, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, when Rachel made those comments that who was leaving the franchise, I think I listened to Brian and Mike's podcast. I think it's called Talking It Out. And Brian said that Rachel's one of the best things that's happened to this franchise, and I agree with him. I think Rachel's brought a lot of awareness, things that I didn't even know. Like, honestly, I talked about this on my podcast. I didn't know what an antebellum party was until those pictures surfaced of Rachel. And I feel like that's something I should have known. And so I hope Rachel doesn't leave the franchise. And I think she's going to host the after final rose. I think it totally makes sense.
But if that's what she wants, then of course we respect that as well. Because
of course, yeah.
She has taken it
I don't think anybody could have handled.
It's not her responsibility to do the educating that she has over the past few months.
I don't think anybody could have handled what Rachel's been handling within the Bachelor franchise over the past, ever since she really stepped foot in it, better than she has.
Mm-hmm. Lauren, what do you think about how everything's kind of playing out? Also for, after the final rose, yet to be determined. We know that Chris will not be a part of that. So what do you think as far as how ABC might handle this?
Right. Same as Ashley and Jared were saying, I think Rachel would be the best option for this, give her this opportunity to let her speak, to, say what she wants to say and let her be heard. And she is such a great thing for this Bachelor franchise. But at the same time, like she said, she wants to cut ties with the franchise, and I think she's kind of had enough. So I was also thinking maybe JoJo Fletcher. She already filled in for Chris during Tayshia Adams' season of The Bachelorette, and she might.
Speaking of Tayshia, I think that Tayshia would be a fantastic option if it wasn't for Rachel for after the final rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good options. There really is. Or maybe just not have a host either.
I was thinking of that too. I'm just for like sheer curiosity, what would it look like without a host?
I don't know if you
I have
can
no
do
What would it look like without a host? How does that happen?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think you can do the show.
You can do the show without a host
Yeah,
completely.
final rose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, honestly, maybe that could be an option moving forward. The show is hostless, and then they bring in past contestants or bachelors or bachelorettes to host and kind of do a rotation, which is something that honestly we've seen a lot in shows where a host leaves. Like they'll maybe try out someone else with each episode. So maybe they'll use that opportunity to experiment. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, I think it's an opportunity for ABC to shake things up. I don't know about you guys, but like as a viewer, it's kind of like, let's use this as a way to shake things up, have different kind of people in, and have different voices be heard.
Got it. Well, we will see soon enough how they decide to let this all play out. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and switch gears because, of course, we still have Matt's season and we have our latest episode. Normally, this is where we do our throwing shade segment, but it wasn't the shadiest episode, which isn't the worst thing. So let's talk about Matt's connection with the ladies last night. Serena had a second one-on-one with Matt. So what did you guys think about their connection and how that date played out?
So truthfully, I don't think she's that into him.
At all. Like,
Okay.
not at all.
Thanks. And I like texted my sister last night. I was like, I'm writing my Cosmo article and I just want to make sure it wasn't just me. She doesn't seem into him, right?
He's not into it. Like,
it seems like she's thinking about another guy in the back of her head.
that is a possibility because when they were doing the yoga and he was like going in for the kiss and she just was not,
Yeah.
she was not having it. And then she was also uncomfortable the entire date. So I felt bad for her because obviously she just didn't want to be there. But did she not want to be there because of the date or because she's just not into Matt?
I don't know. And in the scene to the next episode, her sister says, I don't see you smitten right now. I think she's going to leave on her own.
Jared?
You probably didn't even pick up on it.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't good that she pushed him away. Like you never want to get rejected. I got rejected like that once, where like I went in for a kiss and yeah.
Well, how old were you?
It must have been I'm like early 20s. Oh, it was so traumatic. I was like, well, I'm never kissing anybody again in my life.
Oh my God, babe, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
Well, and it was a little awkward at times because she wasn't a fan of the tantric yoga. But Matt wants her to go to Hometowns. Were you surprised by that, even with the way it was going?
I think he's liking the hard to get. I think he thinks she's playing hard to get, but I think she just doesn't like him.
He just doesn't want to be got.
Exactly. I think this
Like
thing.
him. It's just like she's not all in.
Yeah, she's not ready to get engaged to him in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Lauren,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, yeah, Matt is 100%. She's just not as into him as the other women. And he's like, maybe I'll keep her around, try to like get her affection. And it's just a game, which is annoying, honestly. Like, why did he give that rose to her when we have Abigail, which I know we'll talk about in a bit, but
that's exactly it. You talked about some of the other women being more into him. Abigail, obviously very into him and very upset last night because she still hasn't gotten a one-on-one with Matt, despite getting that first impression rose. So what do you think about how she handled it? Because she kind of just directly addressed it head on with him.
I think it was great. As I was watching, my heart was slowly breaking for her. I've always been a fan of Abigail. I think she's great. I think she's a great addition to this franchise. But yeah, the way Matt said, I knew we had something. And so I explored my other relationships and then kind of forgot about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, the Abigail situation's bullcrap. Like, justice for Abigail. I love Matt. honestly, Matt might be my favorite bachelor of all time. Don't tell any of my friends that. But Abigail is just, she's so sweet and so nice. And I thought they had great chemistry night one. And then, of course, well, Matt did too. He gave her a first impression. And then to just like not give her another chance, like, no, come on.
I said it would have been really weird. I mean, it would have been way more fulfilling for us as an audience to see this with the storyline, to see her get the one-on-one other than Jasenia. Like, what I could have accepted the fact that they didn't have it after seeing a one-on-one between the two of them, and been like, oh, it just never grew into anything.
See, this is a good example of having too much of a good thing. Like that's why.
Why do you guys think she didn't get a one-on-one?
I don't know. I mean, and then Jasenia's one-on-one was the ultimate, like, oh, we're watching this girl, like, get excited when we know she's getting dumped over dinner. Like, it was just a given.
Right.
And Abigail, we would have been like,
give her a
yeah.
shot. Like, give her a shot, man. Just like forget about her. I know you have like a lot of good women, but like, come on now. And especially on the one-on-one date, the way he held out, like I'm using Ashley's brush now, but the way he held out that rose, it was just like, we have a great connection, and yeah, on the one-on-one date. And he's like, we have a great connection and things have been going really well. And he's like dangling in front of her as she's like staring at the like, but I just don't think it's going to be there. So I think I'm going to have to send you home.
I've had a couple of times too. And I'm like, why are you picking up the rose? He did that with Katie. He picked up the rose and it was like,
rose.
Maybe it's him trying to give us a little like TV tease, work it up for the audience at home.
I think like it's a requirement for the Bachelor to pick up the rose regardless of whether the girl's getting it or not.
Right. Well, obviously Abigail ended up going home, but we know we have rumors swirling around who the next Bachelorette might be, but her storyline kind of sets her up to be a compelling possible lead, no?
Oh,
yeah.
Abigail?
100%. Yeah, okay. I mean, I hope she's Bachelorette.
I mean, she is like the most endearing, rootable character. Everybody feels a connection to her.
And she's truly the one I feel like on the show thus far who just didn't get a chance. I want to see her get an opportunity.
Yeah, and like last week I talked about how Katie, like I love Katie and like everything she stood for. Yeah, but like there wasn't a need for me to root for her romantically, and I do feel like that with Abigail.
Got it. Okay. Now, despite everything, obviously, that's going on off screen with Rachel, I mean, she's a front runner. We know that. It seems like her and Matt are really into each other. He gave her the group date rose. Do we feel like if she, is in the top, in that they will address the controversy during that after the final rose special? Do you anticipate them actually going there? I mean, I don't see a world.
They have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just like with Garrett, with Becca's season on season 14 of The Bachelorette, Rachel will do something similar, but it's clear that she is front runner. Like I would say top right now. Like
and especially after watching the Chris Harrison interview, it just makes me feel like she wins.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just almost felt like he was going out of his way, almost as if he was trying to get ahead of it. And so that makes me think like, okay, the person I feel really bad for throughout this entire situation that no one's talking about is Matt. Ashley and I were talking about this. I mean, this dude has so much pressure on him. He's just an authentically good man. I love seeing him. I know I say that like, that dude's a man, you know what I mean? And so, like, not only is he the first Black Bachelor, which puts so much pressure on him, but also he's dealing with, like, these women who are telling him he's quitting the job, and then he has, like, this previous contestant that's a friend of a friend that's coming on. He has to let go and make her drive home by herself on a minivan. What else were we talking about? Obviously, he's falling in love with Rachel.
Brie, she left her job.
And then, like, now he's falling in love with Rachel, and then unbeknownst to him at the time, she obviously has this past about her that she needs to address, and now if he did pick Rachel and they're together right now, like, I can only imagine what's going through his head, and the pressure that he feels for himself, and it's a lot, and not to mention, he's never been through this process.
That's what I'm saying. He has not been a part of the franchise. He's so new to the world of TV, period. let alone like the push and pull of trying to make 1 million people happy. It's a lot of pressure for him to be feeling right now, I bet. Oh, all right, Matt. We're rooting for you, dude. Just keep fighting the good fight.
He's also never been in love before. We can't forget that too.
And that, right? Remember the beginning of the season when that was the only thing? That was the big thing. Fast forward a month later.
It's just like, oh man, it's like, yeah, it's crazy. So much.
Yeah, we'll see soon enough how it plays out. It is time for a round of roses or thorns. The women in the house's reception to Heather Martin arriving because they clearly were not feeling that. What'd you think, rose or thorn?
Thorn. That was so horrible. Oh, it was so horrible.
Honestly,
Like, they're not learning. Like, I don't know. He like calls them out for bullying and then they just do it again. And
The only one I was fine with being upset was, why am I forgetting?
Piper.
Because Heather did interrupt Piper, and like I can understand if I was in that position and I was talking to the lead, and then a new guy walked in and interrupted me, I'd be pissed off too, and just kind of probably overreacting. But everybody else, like all the girls who were just like
Senya, who like went against MJ and all her behavior, just like went right for Heather last night.
yeah, and it's like, come on, like I get it that it's so annoying, and that a new girl's coming in, she's already been on the show, and like you can totally be mad and frustrated, but the idea that you're just like ridiculing and just beating this girl down, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
For Kit to say, bitch, what are you doing here?
Yeah, come on.
it's not Heather's fault that she came in 6 weeks into the show. I'm sure if she had the choice, she would have been there night one. And
Did you hear what Chris Harrison said last week in the same interview?
What did you say?
Same interview. It was just above it. He said that Heather actually like pretty much begged to come on the show, and then the producers told her no, like do not come. And apparently she really did fly herself out there.
Really?
Yeah, they said
Unbelievable.
you're not going to be on this show, and then like they said don't show up to our front step, and she did.
Well, they probably knew that like it's not going to go well for you, Heather.
Yeah.
They probably were trying to help her out, and then she said,
Right.
"I have to give it a chance." And
I
then
don't know what she was.
And it didn't. Matt sent Heather home soon, so that was the next one. Rose or thorn for how quickly he basically said goodbye.
oh, Rose.
Yeah.
He did a great job too. He does a great job at all of that. You know, he was like such a gentleman and saying like, you know, if this was a different situation and we were in San Diego, like
Yeah.
maybe he's just so sweet.
But he handled it perfectly.
Well done, Matt. What did you think about Bree telling Matt that she resigned from her job to join the show? Rose or thorn on revealing that?
Lauren, you go.
Thorn, it killed me. It killed me for her. Like, I want this to work out for her now, but at the same time, like, oh, when she said that she had to resign from her job, I'm like, girl, no. But I don't know, is she really wanting to have this relationship with Matt? Like, does she really honestly think that's going to be worth it? Or is she now thinking of a different career because of The Bachelor, where she's like, okay, now I'll have those Instagram followers or something like that. So
Probably a combination.
Yeah,
She
it's
probably
all-
thought she'd be fine without the job anymore. And at the time, especially there in the moment, like you would quit your job for anything in that moment.
Mm.
What would you say? Let's go. We want you on the show.
When you were in the mix, like let's pretend like we go back to your week.
Yeah, but it's
being top 8. So let's say you being top 8, you would have totally quit your job for Caitlyn.
Yeah, but if it's your dream
But that
job,
wasn't
if it's
your
the
the
dream
job,
dream job,
Yeah.
that's what killed me. And I wish she talked to Matt beforehand, because what
Yeah.
if Matt then turned around and was like, why'd you do that? Like, I'm about to send you home.
That's a really good point.
yeah, I remember a guy on our second season of Paradise came in, and he's like, "Yeah, I quit my job to be here," and he got sent home the day afterwards. I'll tell you later.
Ooh.
And he was there for one night, and he said,
Wow.
he come there, and it's like, oh
Was
no,
it a job he wanted, or was it
hope
what
not.
he? Okay.
I have no idea. He seemed quite sad though. He's like, well, I just hope I stick around because I quit my job for this, and I was like, uh-oh.
1 minute later. Okay. What about Kit sending herself home? Rose or thorn?
Didn't make any sense. So I guess I give it a thorn,
Mm-hmm.
because she goes from the group date where she's telling him, this is my timeline for life. Hope you're down. Are you down? Oh, good, you are? Yay! To seeing Rachel get the rose and her being devastated. To her saying, you know what? Couple hours later, don't know I'm ready that you're gonna meet my family. Don't really know that I'm solid enough in this relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I
was
just don't
bizarre.
think Kit just knows what she wants yet. And
She
that's
realized she
totally
was
fine.
21.
But it's like, she was so pissed off when Heather came in because Heather's coming in and going after her guy. And then like literally the next day, she's like, never mind, he's not my guy. All right, well, like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Lauren, what'd you think?
Completely agree. I think she did realize, wow, okay, I am only 21. I have a whole life to live. I want to have this career. I mean, she even said she wanted to have like babies at 25. And I don't think she realized how still so young that was. And yeah, she took a step back when she realized that she was not Matt's top contender and was like, okay, peace out. I think it was fine. Like, I think I'm glad she realized that and saved us all the trouble of.
No. Thank you, Ashley, Jared, Lauren, for joining us. You guys at home, make sure that you check out our Facebook fan page in the meantime, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.